Hello friends, so today I'm going to start with a new playlist that is fun and learn, and in this playlist I'm going to cover about the different topics that you might heard about in the JavaScript, just like closure, the scoping, the lexical scope, right, and the different things that I talk about asynchronous JavaScript. This all related topic will be covered by me in this playlist, and please follow this playlist to get your JavaScript and have your great knowledge on the JavaScript topic. And let me tell you guys, this is going to help you a lot to crack the interviews as well. So please stay tuned and watch my videos carefully. So you can see basically what I'm going to cover today. So you can see the basic syntax and the comments, right? And we'll see how exactly the JavaScript is being written and the declaration, how the variables are declared, the where and let cons and the variable scope, the variable hosting, data structure and the types and the literals, what are different literals things that I found in JavaScript. Right, and this all things looks good to me, right? But if I talk about how JavaScript is actually getting executed internally, no one knows about it clearly, right? Even I don't know, but the way that I have tried to learn the things, that's helped me a lot to crack the things and find out the output based on the things that I have learned, right? So we'll just start from the basic fundamental, how exactly the JavaScript executes and the basic syntax and the comments first, right? And that's what I'm going to do with the day zero. So I don't want to make this video a long, that's why I'm going to go with the basic syntax and the comments only today, right? So I hope that makes sense to all of you. So friends, when I talk about this thing, I just want to create some basic fundamental folder names. So I'm writing a day zero here. That's going to help me out. So in the day zero, what I have to do is that I have to compare this basic syntax and the comments how exactly we do in different languages. And I hope so it's not a big deal for me to understand, right? So when we talk about basics, so let me talk about the basics first of all. So I'm going to create a file name with the basic.js file. And friends, if you are aware about JavaScript, it say that you can write anything, right? You don't need to worry about a variable declaration, how exactly the variable can store the value, is it integer or float or long? It doesn't matter, right? That's the reason I love JavaScript, right? And you too also should love, right? So when we talk about the basic syntax, man, it's just like basic other language, just like Java, PHP, Python, or whatever you use. So let me just go with something variable declaration. So when we talk about variable declaration, I use a var keyword here, right? And you can give a variable name and you can give some value to it. Just like here, I'm going to give a 10. Make sense? And if I wish to have another variable, you can create another variable with variable name b, and you can put a float value in this variable. That is also fine. Nothing to worry about it. And if you wish to declare variable type seed, where you want to contain some, or like you want to store hello world, that is also fine. Nothing to worry about it. Variable d can also hold something a true value, and I want to get a variable e. That is going to be something that you have never seen, right, in some languages, but yeah, it is there in Java, it is there in JavaScript as well. That is a null value. Then I'm going to get with the variable f, and that is something pretty new here, right? If you talk about here, this thing, this is undefined, right? This is something new for me, right? So that is actually new, right? If you are not in the JavaScript, right, and before you never touched this thing, so you will simply say that Kuldeep, I never heard about this word undefined, right? But I know what generally it means in real life. So undefined means something that is not defined. Yeah, and that makes sense. So we'll talk about it later as well, no worries. And I've go for variable if g. I hope this makes sense for the people in the Python. They say it is a list, right? So it is a list in Python, and some people who are actually working with the arrays, you can simply say that is array in C language or C++ you call it, right? Or Java and C++. Also, I'm writing it here. So when I talk about this variable declaration, friend, that is exactly I know. I'm going to go with variable h, and this something look like a dictionary in Python or a map in C language or Java and C++, right? And this is really helpful for me to understand the basic syntax, right? The basic variables and the way I'm going to hold the value in that. What exactly the variable value says to me in JavaScript, right? I hope I learned about this thing very basic fundamentals. This is basic of JavaScript, how to declare a variable with some value that you have seen before or might not seen before, just like undefined here, right? And do I have anything else, friends? Yes, I have. So even though now, if I try to look into this thing, just try to understand this thing looks pretty something good to me and might not be easy for you to digest. But yes, friend, this is something I'm holding a variable that contains a function, right? You can see a function is there. That function is something printing something console.log, right? This is just printing some hello world on the UI, right? So that's a simplest thing. Even though now my basic syntax says that Kuldeep, you can hold a function also instead of variable on JavaScript, and that is never seen before in any other language, right? If you have seen, that's great. So I have learned about C, C++, Java, and PHP. I never did this thing before, so that's what I say. I learned this thing new. So what do you think? Do you like it? I hope so, right? And that makes sense to you, right? So let's come to the next thing now. How exactly the things are there in JavaScript, right? When we talk about, and I don't need to worry about the comments because I see that the comment that actually I'm writing here is just looking like the C language and C++ and the Java. They are exactly same. Not like the Python where we use hash. It is just a simple double slash, and that makes sense to me, right? I hope so, friends. This is quite easy to understand and digest. All right, what next we have here? So we can see the declarations, right? So when we talk about declaration of the variables, how exactly I can declare a variable. So as of now, friends, I can see that variable declaration, I'm writing here the var keyword, right? And some people call it var, some people call it var, some people do var. It doesn't matter. It always does the same thing. It doesn't matter what exactly you name it, right? It's just a var for me. So friends, when we declare a variable, we just need a variable var, and we just need a variable name, what exactly you want, and you have to just present some value to it. That's all I need to do understand with the variable var, right? But if I talk about this variable, friends, that is totally fine. But coming to the new version of the JavaScript that came into the picture in the 2015 and so on, we have a different type of declaration now. So what are the different options that I have? So friends, they say that Kuldeep, now if you want to use that, that is also fine, but you can also use a let keyword. Now, friends, I don't know what the let and this const keyword is also there. I really don't know what this does, right? As of now, I know that this is a very simple thing that Kuldeep, I don't know, right? So, friends, there's a word ES6 coming to the picture. What is ES6? We'll cover this thing in the next chapter for sure. But first of all, let's try to see the declaration that I can choose while declaring the variables. So now I have two options, the let and const extra with my var. So what the let and what the const does, right? So let's try to understand this thing in the next chapter, right? So when we talk about ES6, so that's all friend for that this time. I hope so you like the video. Please do subscribe my channel and do share with your friends who are just learning this JavaScript with a new, and I hope this is going to help you a lot to understand the basic fundamentals of JavaScript.